welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing 3 Wainwrights. We're doing Seathwaite Fell, then over to Allen Crags, and then Glaramara. Right, let's check it out on the map. We start today's walk at Seathwaite Farm, and for the first section we follow the corridor route which leads to Scafell Pike. Heading through the farm and along the valley floor, we walk alongside Grains Gill. When we reach Stockley Bridge, we cross over and begin our first ascent, passing Taylor Gill Force on our right. After the path flattens out, we branch off the corridor route and head up our first Wainwright of the day, Seathwaite Fell. After summiting and admiring the views, we work our way along the fell, passing a few small tarns before reaching the largest Sprinkling Tarn. Heading left, we pass under the shadow of Great End, which is another Wainwright, and then follow the path up to the left, reaching Allen Crags, our second Wainwright of the day. Going forward, it's a relatively straight run to High House Tarn, and we get fantastic views over Great Gable to our left and the Langstrath Valley to our right. After some up and down, we eventually reach Glaramara Summit, which has commanding views over the Borrowdale Fells. At this point, we begin our descent. The down is steep for around 600 metres, but it's stable enough underfoot. The farm's in view for most of the descent, and eventually we reach the valley floor, where we turn right and return to the farm. You see a dusting of snow on the top, and it's snowing right now, so we'll see how we get on today. This is Seathwaite Farm. You can park here. Got some snacks and drinks. So essentially we're going to go up Seathwaite Fell, work our way around the tops, get to Allen Crags, and then head over to Glaramara. Hello. It's looking pretty quiet today. So this is our signpost. It's Seathwaite Farm that way, or Styhead 2.5 miles. So we're going to head up here. Right. There we go. Sheep are all down for winter, so it's late Feb now. It's got a bit of a bitey wind today. It's much windier than I thought it was going to be actually. I was down here not so long ago when I was trying to do the corridor route up to Scafell Pike, because it's the same starting point. And you can also go to Great Gable from the farm as well, and that'll take you up via Base Brown. But yeah, today over to Glaramara. So a few big ones to do in this area. I'm doing this a bit later in the day because the cloud's going to lift during the course of the day, and it seems clear on the tops now, but it was due to be a bit low early on in the morning, and then by about 5 o'clock it's due to be really high. So starting this just after 12, I think it's going to take about 5 hours to get round, and there's 5.5 hours of daylight left, so see how we get on. Has a bit of intrigue anyway. It's a bit steep to start off with, so we're heading up to Seathwaite Fell there. Then we're going to essentially work our way around the tops and then head back down once we get to Glaramara. There we go. Oh. Maybe not then. There we go. Oh, I can really hear the wind rushing through. Probably see the trees moving there. The weather report says the wind is about 25 miles an hour, but in a couple of days it's going to get up to 75 miles an hour, and it's feeling like it's quite gusty at the moment, so see how we got on near the tops. On this particular route there's nothing I can really fall off, so pretty safe there. Not going up any ridges or anything like that, or at least no sharp ones, so it's not like a striding edge or sharp edge or anything like that. So that's us as we're heading up. See, the sun's giving it a go. As we're going up, Seathwaite Fells on this side, then Allen Crags is just there in the distance. Glaramara is about the 46th highest Wainwright, so for the last couple of weeks I've been kind of trying to get under the cloud a bit, doing low ones, so this is my first time in the top 50 for a little while. It's us heading up. You can see the path, it's quite stable down here, and it's a well-trodden one, because again it's how you get up to the corridor route up here, which is a very popular one in the summer, going up to Scafell Pike. Just asked a couple of guys there that are coming down what's it like on top, and said it's pretty windy and it's pretty icy, but got my spikes in my bag, so should be alright. But again, if you're doing this in winter, it's just worth leaving them in your bag because they don't weigh very much. Mine don't anyway. Okay, now in the distance here, you probably can't see it very well on the GoPro, is Taylor Gill Force coming down. So I was there the other week when I was doing the corridor route, and I'd just gone the other side of the field there, and that's the best way to get it if you want to get up close. So I'll show you what that looks like from a clip from another day. Still icy on the tops, and you've got to be a little bit careful going up. Right, through this gate then we're shortly heading up. So this is us, we're going to take the bridge in a sec, and then we're working our way up past the crags and then gently up to the top. This is Grains Gill, and we'll cross it in a little moment. There's our bridge, and if you want to see that bridge on Instagram, you'll see it multiple times. It's just all over the place, and it's not surprising really because it's a cute little bridge, and it's got this little pool at the bottom. So if you want a little paddle in there, look at that, crystal clear, and probably about 0 degrees. You can see the path going up on this, it's quite well constructed, so big steady blocks heading up. As you come up here, you've got that fantastic view of the valley behind, and the ascents are quite steep. It's probably about 400 metres or so on the ascent, so time to stop and have a little breather and have a look. You're sort of going in fits and starts, so stable, then up, then a little bit of across, then up. The woodland you can see coming up here. Just behind that is Taylor Gill Force. And that's, you can't really see it from this side, but you'll no doubt hear it. I hadn't really expected much ice today because it's not really snowed for a bit, although I did know there was some coming in late Feb. But when I came past Blencathra on the way in, that was just covered. So we'll see how we get on today with this. Yeah, we're definitely getting into some ice coming up. This is, by the way, still the path you use if you're going up to Scafell Pike. We're not going that high. There we are, nearly up to the wood. So we're going dead stable. But last time I came up here, this was just a sheet of ice. I think I'm just in a sheltered spot right now because I'm pretty sure it's going to be windy further up. Getting quite hot now because I'm in a bit of a sheltered bit, I think, out of the wind. But I'll just tell you what I've got on. So I've got my down jacket, and then my merino wool base layer, but you could use anything really, synthetic's fine, and that's it really. Got another coat in my bag, which is my overcoat, which is waterproof, just in case, because you just can't tell in the lakes. It's a very local weather situation going on. But we shouldn't have any rain today, but it's just worth having that because in down jackets, this is just a little bit showerproof, but not really waterproof. So if it gets wet, the feathers will collapse. Then it's got no thermal properties. Then you can be in trouble. So you need that outer jacket just in case. So quite picturesque as we're coming up. I'm working our way up there to the top of Seathwaite Fell. Taylor Gill Force is just down here. And when I came up last time, I worked my way along the path over there to try and get it, which is good, but it has got a little steep bit on. You need to watch yourself. A little bit further up here, and then we will hit a split. And the right hand side takes you on the corridor route up to Scafell Pike, but we're going to go left onto Seathwaite Fell, then hook back round. Someone was asking me about routes and how I decide what route I'm going to take around mountains when you're sort of planning your own day out. And often what I'm doing is walking what's called a horseshoe. So you can see the natural contours of a valley going round. And normally I'm just going up one end, following it around the head, then coming down the other end. And I'm going to do the Fairfield horseshoe quite soon, which is quite a famous horseshoe. But essentially, it just travels round the river that's going through the middle. And if you're looking for a natural route to do, that's quite a good one, because once you're up, you're pretty much up and you're walking at height. So it is a good thing to do if you're trying to pick up, say, a few wainwrights. Looks like a dusting of snow just on the top. So what I've done so far is an ascent of probably 150 metres or so. Then I'm on this gradual bit, and then we'll turn and do about another 100 up. So the gradual takes you some of the height, and there's a couple of steeper stints. We're at the turn off and it's fairly easily missed, so you'll see this sort of dry, well maybe dry, bed coming down, and then you've got Seathwaite Gill coming down here, and we're just going to veer off into the distance, so we're just going to work our way up here. So veer off from the main path, and there we go, basically following this riverbed up. When you leave the path, the climb's about 200 metres, so it's a decent climb, but you can stop and have a look back because got quite a good look down the valley just over there. Looking into the distance, on the left there you've just got Langstrath Fell, then King's How, Blencathra sort of in the middle, then over to High Seat, and then Clough Head. And it's not all about going up. It's also about getting the views in. So you don't want to spend the whole time looking at your feet. We're heading up probably with about 100 to go now, metres. That's Great Gable, just up there, and then Great Gable just here. So we've got a couple of videos on those if you can have a look at them. But what a climb that is. Great Gable's one of those mountains that just kind of stands out on its own. It's called Great Gable because it looks like a gable end of a house, but it really does look very dominant in the landscape. And again, if you go up Scafell Pike, I've got a video which goes up via Langmell, and that's a Wainwright in its own right. And you get cracking views from there right over to Great Gable. So I'll pop it in the description if you want to see it. Just a bit of, look at those icicles there. Brilliant. Still melting though. You can just see the water under the ice sheet there, so definitely getting to the frozen zone. Time for spikes. That's a look back to the path. We'll come up here, and although it does look like there's no significant path, you can pretty easily pick it out, and it zigzags all the way up there. Starting off again, and this is kind of loose going up. So if you're not, you know, if you've got some experience of walking, this will probably be okay for you, but I wouldn't really do it as a beginner's walk because it's got a couple of slightly off the piste things to do. And I think when you're starting walking, just kind of do something a bit fun, like Loughrig or Allen Crags or something like that, because, you know, if you want to enjoy it, test the water a bit. Because I see a lot of people coming up Scafell Pike and it's the first ever walk and they're having a nightmare and they're probably not dressed completely correctly. So they've probably had a dodgy time of it and won't want to go walking again. But what you're doing in these videos really is give you a bit of help on it, point some stuff out, then you can enjoy yourself, because that's what it's about. It's quite significant up this, you will notice it, but nearly there. The sun's just coming out now. There we go, Great Gable in distance. This is doing what it said it was going to do, so that's fantastic. There's about 50 metres of height left, and then we're at the summit. It's about 1:30, so we're doing well. Get to the boulder field, and then we're going to just head over here. Just see the summit there popping up. once we hit the crest. Going to get a massive view out, and that's going to take in Scafell Pike as well, and the Scafell range. That's our final ascent. Then we're going to get a huge view let's have a look. Nobody else here today, just us. And that is the top. Wow. Ah. Amazing. What a view. As we're coming off our first Wainwright, we'll then head over to Allen Crags, which is our second, and then round to Glaramara. You can take any of the paths, you can go around this way or down here, and we're heading up to there, then down a little, and over to Allen Crags, and then round to Glaramara. As we come off, the next thing we get to is Sprinkling Tarn, and then a little while after that, we'll get to Allen Crags. So the way down today, it's a little bit sort of snowy, but it's fine. The ground's actually really firm underfoot. Right, so we'll just head via the tarn, and then we'll work our way up there. See, these little tarns are frozen over, and we're going to work our way over to a much bigger tarn over here, which is Sprinkling Tarn. There are a few ways across here, but essentially we're just skimming at the side. That's Seathwaite Fell there, so you just come around here and we're tracking our way over here. So you can see this is Great End just in front of us. So if you wanted to extend the walk out a bit, you could do. Just go across and nip up and get it, because that is a Wainwright as well. We're not doing that today, because light might be an issue near the end. Good walk out this. It's about probably freezing at the moment, it's probably about 0, but I'm pretty warm. It's just about layers. So I will definitely do that layering video and put it in the description. So I've been promising to do it for about a year. I'll get it done though. Right, so essentially walking straight towards Great End, and then you're going to veer off to the left, and there we'll be able to pick up the second Wainwright of the day, Allen Crags. Always sounds like a bloke you met down the pub. Allen Crags. I think he owes me 10 quid. So it's quite windswept looking today, a little bit moody, but as promised, the clag is a little bit higher. I am doing this as a solo walk today, but I have got my radio with me, so if I've got any trouble, you can't really rely on signal around here for phones, so walkie-talkie is always a good idea in these conditions, because since leaving the corridor route, I've seen nobody, and that's really what I expected. But I've got a bivvy bag in my rucksack, just in case, and a bit of extra food, a bit of extra water, because although there's nothing to fall off, you can always slip in these conditions if you've not got spikes on. So yeah, definitely worth preparing for winter and to spend longer sat round than you think. Now then, look at this. There you go. We'll follow around this smaller tarn, and then we'll get to Sprinkling Tarn just below us. Look at that though, what a view. Continuing to head forward, and this is Sprinkling Tarn just coming into view. If you're going up Great End, which is there, then get a cracking view down to it. Sprinkling Tarn is frozen over almost completely. So if you're coming up in the winter, then just be ready for a little temperature difference. Just tried to get the drone up, but it's far too windy, so excuse any wind on the mic. Yes, we're going around the tarn and up to Allen Crags. This is us as we head across, so a little bit of a challenge of the ice today. There we go. Look at that today. It's crazy. As we continue around the tarn, see the path there, it's pretty stable. See back onto well-worn routes now. It's looking absolutely crazy going forward. So yeah, well up in the snow line. Allen Crags and Glaramara, they're very similar in height, with Allen Crags being the senior by 1 metre. So very similar. So once we've gone up here, we've pretty much done the height for today, and then we're just doing a straightish walk across the tops and then down. So yeah, it'll be a lot quicker on the second half of this. Whoa. Got to be careful today because this is definitely windier than forecast. Look at that. We're at the split. This will take you to S Cores if you're up there, and then to S Pike, or if you want to Great End, but we don't need to do that. Not on this walk today anyway, so we're going to go to Allen Crags over here, then we'll continue over to Glaramara. So it's the lower fork we're taking. Last time I was up here, I also got Allen Crags, but that route involves Borrowdale Fells, so if you want to see that as an alternative to get this one, then I'll pop it in the description for you. You can watch that if you like. But yeah, that's very much a minor tagging on that route. You can just pop up and get it and then carry on. As we're coming up, you can just see all the drifts there where it's caught in the gully. Wow, this is really covered now up here. But we're not going to be up here for too long, maybe an hour, before we start going down. I am nice and warm, so that's one thing. So you're looking for this marker. This cairn tells us we're heading that way. Oh, you can just see Langstrath Valley down there. Here we go then, this is the final approach. And we're going to work up, then we'll see the top of Allen Crags. Our ascent is moderately steep and it's about 50 metres, so it's only a short one really. Tried to get the drone up earlier, but it's just too windy, so you have to put up with me. When we drop down a bit though, it'll calm down, so hopefully get some shots back. Wow, it's really blowing. Wind formation on this rock here. So that's down to Sprinkling Tarn. There you go. Quite the view. So we have sort of got a view. So that is our top. We're heading straight to Glaramara, but as you can see on the look back, that's where we've come. So we've come up here today on Seathwaite Fell, past the tarn, up to Allen Crags, down to here, and then carrying on. So it's quite a lovely little walk at the top. But yeah, so I think the main contender today has really been wind. Energy-wise, I feel pretty good. Allen Crags and Glaramara are basically the same height, so what we're doing is we're dropping about 100 metres to High House Tarn, and then we're going to go back up 100 again. As we're coming down, you're just following the thread path, and it's pretty stable, but yeah, if it's icy like this, just watch your feet, because dead easy to slip on the downs, despite if it's like that. Alison's not with me today. This would have been a good snowball fight. Pretty easy to follow this path coming down. Nice and steady. We're getting a little bit of tarn action as we go past. A bit more further on. Wow, this is this is watery. It's difficult to tell at the moment because the snow is covering the water, so you can end up in the middle of a little tarn. Now, when I'm doing these videos, I'm not really trying to give you an Instagram version of what walking in the hills is like in winter. So it is a bit mucky underfoot. You will need spikes if you're coming out and it's frozen like this, and that will really increase your chances of doing well and going quite quickly, because there's a lot of ice around, and at this height it just doesn't really melt. So this is kind of what it's like. And when you're getting onto the tops here, anywhere like that where you can see the brown grass, you really don't want to go down there because that's going to be marshy. So much more like this thing here, that's for us. Right, now sometimes you can't avoid any of this marshy stuff, so I'm going to have to go across here. Oh no, there you go. This will do us, if we can stop falling in there. Right, that looks all right. That's good. Just filming what I can in the gaps in the wind. But look at this behind me over here. Look at that. That's a view. So anyway, we're right on the clagginess. We have got some views going round. A little bit misty, but that's fine because it's the middle of winter. That's impressive. So again, if you're a wild camper, nice little spot to be. Because this bit has all the tarns in, you can't expect it to be wet. So you want to just keep yourself on the drier path, and that means when we're coming forward, you just keep all the tarns on your right, and it's a bit drier over here. You can see the sort of ice in this lower bit. There you go. Right, a little bit of up now. So the up again, it's about 100 metres, and then at the top. I think one of the main things for today is probably being buffeted by the wind. It's, you know, using more energy than usual, but feeling pretty good. If you're wondering about fitness level for this, so moderately fit, you'd be alright doing this. Look at that. You still get these cracking views all the way around, so that is great. Right, we can bring a little shelter. I'll get a little drink of water and you can admire that view. And there we have it, the summits of Glaramara. So it's just up there. So down, up, and that's us just heading down to the valley. Alright, let's get over there. I'd say I'll put this wind at gusting at 50 miles an hour. So it's definitely getting up. And I'll be glad to get off this once I've completed it. Many ways to get up here, but they're all pretty rocky. I've got to the first top, which is not the real summit, but you can see its rockiness. It's a small down and up, and then with the actual summit. So again, we're going across, and you can appreciate the views as you're coming along. Look at that. It's been absolutely incredible. We're just going to get to the final summit and then start heading down, but the wind is really much higher than expected, and it's due to be really high later in the week, so I thought I'd get out now. Right, so it's just up here a little bit and we're there. Here's our well-worn path, and that looks very much like the summit. Wow. There we go. That's our summit. Got the wind behind me. Wow. So there we go. That is the summit cairn. Wow. Great look down the valley. And a great look out. I very much need to get off here. The views out are spectacular and hold many memories of past walks. The name Glaramara comes from ancient Norse and means hill with the mountain hut by the chasm. And as the name suggests, there's a steep down waiting for us. Upon leaving the summit, we cross over a grassy section to make our way towards the main descent. The main down is about 600 metres and there are many surfaces from grass to stony paths to rocks. It's definitely worth taking your time here and many choose this as a way up. I had a great time on this walk and 10 kilometres might not seem too long, but the testing ascents and descents really let you know you've had a big day out. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you clicked on the like, as that allows more people to see it. If you want to see any future videos, then if you click on subscribe, then you'll get a notification when these come up. If you've done this walk or are planning it, let me know in the comments and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.